Hello, I'm David DeCosmo. Welcome to ECTV Live. I'm joined by my co-host, Rusty Fender. Rusty, welcome again.
Hey, good to see you, Dave.
Good to see you as well. Hey, we're into promoting usually public events that are coming up, and while our subject is in fact a public event, it's a little out of the norm. It's more like, to some extent, hard news.
Yeah, but it's right in our neighborhood.
Big development. Joining us today is Tom Leary, who's president of the Luzerne County Community College. And Tom, the college certainly is not unknown to people throughout our area, been a very, very big success story. But when we think of that success story, we tend to think of it at its home base in Nanticoke in Luzerne County. And now you are about to join us right here in the city of Scranton. You're going to be in what was the mall at Steamtown. It's now the Steamtown Marketplace. And of course, the mall went through a difficult period for a while there, and part of the rebuilding apparently involves you folks. How did this all come about?
Well, Dave, it is, first of all, I want to thank you and Rusty for having me as a guest today, because this is a great opportunity for me to talk about my favorite subject, Luzerne County Community College. Thank you. And we have our ribbon cutting in that facility tomorrow. Now, how did this all come about?
Yeah.
We've really been in the business of expansion for a long time. We feel that the accessibility factor, particularly with adult learners, is very important, that it's close by in the community. So we have 5 dedicated sites throughout the region, in Wilkes-Barre, in Berwick, in Hazleton, Shamokin, Coltmont. But this particular center and this expansion is really exciting for us, because we literally have served hundreds of students each year from the greater Lackawanna County area. Mm-hmm. But over the last several years, when I go out into the communities and coming to the different events here, including the chamber and meeting with superintendents and others, they expressed the idea that it'd be great to have a community college right here in Scranton, because literally the opportunity for people who want an affordable and accessible education, the travel sometimes is a barrier.
Yes, because it suddenly adds to the cost they would think they were saving.
Exactly. And 75% of our students work, and when we take that into consideration, many students need, that's a barrier, that transportation idea. So we feel we're really excited about this, because we are connecting with a very vibrant organization right now, the Marketplace.
Yes.
The owners they have a vision. And when they laid that out for us, we probably went and visited 35 sites in the last 2 years. Interestingly enough, the Marketplace was the first one we visited, and it's the one we came back to. So I guess there's a lesson in life there. But we are so happy and so thrilled to be connected with such a, I think it's going to prove not only an educational opportunity, but it's going to contribute to economic revitalization. And the partnership with many of the new businesses that are coming into the Marketplace, I think it's just going to be, we're going to be a very good link to all of that.
You know, you got a good coup, too. A lot of folks don't think of this, but being in the downtown area, the first thing you think about is parking, ample parking. That's a win situation, Tom.
It's wonderful, Rusty, because we have our own entrance, and our parking lot is right off that entrance. So it's going to be a situation where people can choose to go in, obviously, to the Marketplace if they wish. But if you're pulling in just to go to class, you can park right outside our doors and walk right in and get right back on the highway.
Right. For people that may remember the mall as it was initially structured, you'll be occupying the space that the Bon-Ton department store once used.
Yes.
And of course, ironically, it was the departure of that store that sort of put the mall in a bad strait.
And that was an anchor store.
That was an anchor store. Now we're going to have an anchor community college,
which is wonderful.
Right there. Any idea, like student population pictured for that?
Well, our goal for the fall semester was to have approximately 200 students.
Oh, good.
And that's a great start when you move into a relatively new
You making money at that point, Tom?
Pardon?
You making money at that point?
We're meeting our
200?
expectations in terms of revenue versus expenditures.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was over there today before I came over here, and there's people coming into our office space, right, who are talking about going to college starting next Monday. So we expect this week to be a really busy week too.
Yeah. And community college is unique. You mentioned the adult learners. Community college, unlike all schools are accepting students of all ages. But a community college really has a more broader base appeal, doesn't it?
Yes, and I think the word community is essentially its meaning, because it has to be broad-based. We don't have the specialty of an engineering school or a business school. It serves just about anyone who wants to either get started in their education, or they want to upgrade their skills because they're in a workplace environment where they need to maybe possibly need some technical training. We can do that. So it's I think the excitement of the atmosphere is you'll see an 18-year-old, you'll see a 35-year-old, you'll see a 50-year-old, and it blends so nicely together.
That's the excitement. Less
yes.
peer pressure in a deal like that. You don't have to go to a bunch of 19-year-olds if you're 52 years old.
Sure.
Bottom
Yes,
line.
that's right.
You also
yes.
tend to structure your educational offerings not only to basic courses that you might find almost anywhere, but into courses that tend to reflect job availabilities in our area. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that my son is a prime example. I have two daughters and a son. My two daughters have been straight A students forever. My son was more like me, more on the C level, maybe a C plus here and there. And we wondered about him when it came to college. He went to Luzerne County Community College. He can take anything electronic in a car and fix it or install it. I mean, it's amazing. He picked up these unique, very needed skills right there.
Yes.
So I guess in that sense, to some degree, your courses are always changing too.
It's important that we change with the times. You know, we have to really reflect the community and their needs. So the programs, for example, in the last year that we began at the college, we entered into a collaborative partnership and secured major support through a Department of Labor grant to fund the technology and equipment for a diesel, a welding, and advanced manufacturing program. Those programs are both popular, but they're also jobs.
Yeah.
There are jobs at the end of the road. With a certificate or a diploma, you can actually start working and then complete your associate degree. So, and they're good paying, sustaining positions. So it is, you really should be flexible in today's world to look at, as you described your son, hands-on. He loves that, and that really is the opportunity for him. And then on the other side, there are many thousands of students who come to us who want a four-year degree. And what we have been really working on over the last several years is to solidify agreements with four-year colleges and universities. They're called dual admission agreements.
Dual admission.
Dual admission. When you're admitted to Luzerne County Community College, if you wish to transfer to these institutions, they guarantee you full acceptance, full transfer of credits, and to support the affordability, which is so important today, because I think loan debt is one of the major things, particularly on parents' minds for their sons and daughters. They will guarantee a scholarship at these colleges in their junior and senior year. So literally, you can reduce the cost of your education by coming to Luzerne County Community College to get a four-year degree by anywhere from 60 to 75% of the total cost.
Wow.
And we signed recently in Scranton, we signed one with Marywood University last year. That's working very well. And we have about 25 of these agreements in place now.
That's wonderful.
You know, skilled craft and trade. Number one, the past 2 years, you probably know, welding.
Yes.
And that's not only from my work in the natural gas industry in Susquehanna County in the fracking business for a couple of years, but that is everywhere. Arc, MIG, TIG, submerged plastics, thermite, flux core stick, shielded metal arc. People are leaving in droves to do that. We had welders in the natural gas industry. Now, this is going back a couple of years now. Again, we know when things were different. Now most of the welds are being capped because there's just so much gas.
Yep. Yes.
$9,000 a week they were making welding.
Yes.
$9,000
A week. A week. Now, again, it's not easy work. You work from 5 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night. They say we're going to work longer, so they bring the portable light plants out, and you work under the lights for a couple more hours. Not easy work to lay on a backboard under a pipe and do overhead welding in the rain and the snow and the sleet. But $9,000 a week, that's more than the president of the company I used to work for made. Welding is where it's at.
Yes, it is.
It sure is.
Yep.
And
It's one of those
who's ever leading the flow is certainly leading the college in the right direction.
About 9,000, about 8,700 more we make in the media.
Isn't that incredible? I think we owe them that much a month, a week.
Probably so. Getting back specifically to the new unit that'll be operational at the Steamtown marketplace. I gather that space was, as we said, a Bon-Ton department store. It's hard for me to envision converting a space like that into classrooms.
The 2 floors probably help.
Absolutely. When I first, back in May or June, when we first started working on this, I mean, in terms of the construction, I could not envision how this was going to really work, how it was going to turn out. When I visited last week, and well, as of this morning, I'm amazed at the type of facility that has been created. I mean, it's bright. The windows are in the classrooms. We have all smart classrooms there, so the technology is in place.
Ultra modern technology.
Ultra modern technology. Yeah. I mean, I think I think people are going to find it such a nice atmosphere to go to college, and that really excites me, because as you just described, it was hard for me to envision how the transition was going to be made.
It's tough to see an escalator in the middle of a college.
Exactly.
You think
yes,
of it.
You're right. Yes, that was hard for me to see, but I'm seeing it now.
Will students that come here and take courses, will they have to take some of them here and then have to go to the main campus for others? How will that work?
There will be 14 degrees to start.
14 degrees offered right here?
Yes, that you will be able to pursue and complete. But we have over 100 academic programs. So for some areas, such as the health sciences, nursing, dental hygiene, those kinds of programs, plus, as you described, the diesel and welding and the equipment and the technologies on our main campus.
But because you can't have those in every single campus.
No, that would be extremely costly and obviously prohibitive. But we have programs in criminal justice. I'm talking about our Scranton Center, in medical coding. We have a variety of business programs that we're offering. So it's going to be very flexible, and I think once we get the 14 up and running, I wouldn't be surprised if we have 20 next year, and so on and so forth. We're going to keep,
There's a lot of square footage there. That's the good thing. And by the way, that was Montgomery Ward's when they originally opened.
Yes,
really?
You're right.
And then it became the Bon-Ton for years when they went bankrupt. But a lot of square footage.
Wait, there's a famous name. Montgomery
how about
Ward.
that?
Yes.
All the famous names seem to be going by the wayside. That's the unfortunate part about it. But yeah, Montgomery Ward was originally in there.
Well,
but a lot of footage.
Yeah,
yes.
And while our main emphasis here certainly is this new educational opportunity right in downtown Scranton, you've got to work off of that in some of our thoughts as well. So the space available, the opportunity available looks great from the college point of view. What can it mean to the mall point of view, in fact, to the downtown, to the city point of view?
Well, I think whenever an educational institution moves into a community, I think it creates such a flow of people and ideas. And when we think about some of the entities that are recent in the marketplace, the Crunch Gym, for example.
Oh, yes, yes.
I mean, that's just a natural fit for students. I mean, if we have, I think, on the street outside here, when students are walking in next week, walking with their books, and I think it changes kind of the community in terms of a learning environment, but and particularly with the diversity that I described earlier of our students, the 18-year-old, 35-year-old. I mean, I think it's just going to work very well.
Now, and that's interesting, because students will come in there and they'll like something like that gym, which, by the way, is located in an area right by the bridge.
Yes.
That used to take folks, when the mall originally opened,
Into
it was
the Globe.
linked with the Globe department store.
Yeah.
And I think Boscov's used it for a time
For furniture.
Boy, I'm learning a lot lot of local history.
See, now you thought you knew a lot before you came here, Tom. We'll bring you up to speed on this area.
Yeah, you'll have a certificate by the time you leave here.
2 years, Tom.
2 years.
But and those students, certainly some of the other facilities in the mall, will probably take advantage of. And they'll be coming to the city, but they'll be coming from throughout Lackawanna County. I don't know what the status of the downtown theater is, but that was going to be all redone and opened in the very near future, I believe. So there's another thing that you will basically, to put in a bottom line, you're going to have more bodies downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
right.
If there's 200 students there, and just some of them make use of some of the other facilities.
Well, it's nice to see is that one thing, no offense, what we don't need is another vape shop, another bank. So it's good to see that a quality educational institution is
Thank you,
taking
yes.
advantage of something that's new like the marketplace. That's the good point about all
Yes.
this. It's,
Yeah.
Yes.
Perception is reality.
Yep, yes.
What does this mean to you in terms of additional staff?
Well, we're hiring a director and academic advising. We'll have all of our support services will be in place to support the students. And we're actually doing searches for faculty, for people to help us teach. And we want to find faculty in this, right here in the city of Scranton and around Lackawanna County.
Sure.
We really want to provide that opportunity as well. So we want it to be really a community-based operation. So we will be, there will be a number of people next Monday who will be teaching for us for the first time, and that's also exciting. And we're having an orientation for our faculty this Thursday, so we'll be meeting a lot of those people who will be helping us.
If someone is interested in pursuing an academic career through Luzerne County Community College in this branch campus, is this a situation where they could physically come here to make their applications?
They can apply right here at the marketplace, or they can go online, right on College Online, and fill out an application. They'll go right to our Human Resource Office, and then on to the appropriate academic department. We'll contact them, sit down, and have an interview, and explain everything that we're doing, and go from there.
And you got some immediate interest when this was first announced, didn't you?
Yes, we did. We had a great response when we first announced it, and that was very encouraging, because even though we have served about 400 students from Lackawanna County every year, that's been about the number that we've attracted to the main campus. It seemed as though when we made this announcement that there was a great deal of interest and really to learn what a community college is. Because I think sometimes there's a misconception. What's the difference between a community college and another college? And we are basically a 2-year college with an associate degree, but it's an open door college, which means everyone is accepted. It's a college that has support from a number of different areas, and that's how we're able to keep our tuition low. So it's low cost, open door, and many programs. So there's a lot to choose from once you make your decision to pursue an education.
You're the original community college. As we said off the air, my last year at Pittston area was 1974. They took us on a bus ride to see this brand new thing called a community college. The place was sprawling. I mean, Pittston area is huge in itself.
Yes.
But I mean, to see LCCC back in 1974 before it went online was just absolutely incredible. I mean, that was the McDonald's of community college.
Yes.
That was the founding.
I
Thank you.
think I remember it in the annex to the old Hotel Sterling.
It was right between King's College and Wilkes University.
Yes.
And it opened in '67.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
about that?
Yeah, the
I
original.
don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we first started, we opened our doors, I think there were 600 students the first year. And we came down to the main campus, a little more than 1,000. Now we're serving over 6,000 students in credit and over 8,000 in credit-free. So we have about 14,000 people take advantage in some form
How
of the
about the
community
price
college every year.
tag on a credit hour there, Tom?
The Scranton Center, the tuition will be $250 a credit. And that's
great.
Yeah, that's about that's 1/3 of what
Yeah,
places I taught at are. Yeah,
we're trying to,
absolutely.
we're trying to hold the line for as
Sure.
much as possible because, again, affordability is very important.
Yes.
And but yes, it is. I think it's a very reasonable tuition, and there is financial aid. 3/4 of our students receive financial aid, so literally a great deal of that cost can be reduced to a very small amount of money for investment.
And you beam with enthusiasm when you talk about coming into the marketplace at Steamtown. And yet, when the college makes a commitment like this, there's an unknown factor, there's a risk involved. But you do have experience with other branch campuses. You named a couple of them. How have they worked out?
Well, each of those branch campuses has been a success story. Each of those serve approximately 400 to 500 students a semester. And if not, and again, that being home is so important for many people. Now, we go to Shamokin. Many people wonder where Shamokin is, on the map. When we arrived there, we started our program about 10 years ago in Shamokin. That is such an important part of that community. So everywhere we go, we raise the level of educational attainment, which I think is really very important in terms of a consideration. And then, for many people, that is they're really through that door, through the community college, they go on and get bachelor's degrees and master's degrees.
There's nothing around
Changes
Northumberland
community.
County.
No.
That was ground zero for
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah.
We have one in Shamokin that serves our general students, and then we have a nursing program in Coltmont, which is right down the road.
Yes. Mhm.
So it is, when you have that experience of doing this at different sites, obviously when we come to Scranton, we model a lot of what we do, of what we have
Do you have
accomplished
a
at those other sites
cafeteria
right
in the
here.
Shamokin site?
We do not have a cafeteria.
Okay, you
We
want to think
have-
about that because I covered that area. There was a hoagie shop in Shamokin, and they named a hoagie after me.
You're
But
kidding.
But it closed down, so maybe we can.
They named a hoagie after
They
you.
did.
It
Well,
doesn't get any bigger in the business when they name a hoagie.
well,
after
no,
you.
I
they,
mean,
they
that's-
named a hoagie after
That's
everybody.
That's
the walls
the
were covered.
apex of the business, Dave. You've made it.
Well, I've never had a hoagie named after me.
See that?
That's one of my dreams, but I just hasn't accomplished that
They
yet.
had it named after everybody, and I think they were probably all the same hoagie. That
This made you feel good when you came in and ordered it, right?
Exactly.
I'll be looking for
exactly.
that
I remember the
place.
first time I noticed it, they had one named after Debbie Dunleavy.
Get
Who
out.
was our anchor for many, many years. But they've all been success stories, and have they all drawn from their own local community areas?
Exactly. They draw right from their city or their communities. And the great opportunity in that setting is if you're working and it's close by, you can take some courses, you can maintain your
Right.
job, and you don't, because the travel sometimes, again, is a very important factor in people's consideration about whether or not they're going to go to college.
Sure. Now, we've also touched on the idea of the various age groups. You said a student may come in 18 and see someone who's 55 or so. Are you drawing from the older community?
Yes, we are. The average age at the community college is 28. So we have about 3,000 of our 6,000 students are in the age range of 18 to 21.
That's good because they've been in the workforce already somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
very likely, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, that the wisdom of the person who's the experienced individual, right? And the young man or young lady who just came out of high school, they help one another a great deal in class.
Sure.
So,
You can actually learn from them as well
Yes.
as from the instructors.
Exactly, yes. It's a package. Education is just not limited, as you know, to what you learn in the classroom. It's the
Sure.
social interaction you have. It's making new friends. I mean, that's what, when we talk about the Scranton Center, I think that's going to be in the setting that it's in, the environment. Sitting around down at the food court having a pizza and a soda and talking about what you learned in class or getting help with an algebra problem, whatever it is.
No, you're really
that's
in the
a nice
right
setting.
place
Yeah.
at the right time. That's 99% of life.
Yeah.
The mall just did this transformation with a new name and new businesses and a whole new concept. To come in at that time is really a stroke of good timing, I got to tell you.
Rusty, the timing was perfect. And
Absolutely.
that's-
No doubt about it.
As we know in life, timing is
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything.
Timing's everything.
People from our area are going to want to have a look at this place. Is that going to be something that's practical for folks to come and maybe tour around?
Absolutely. Starting tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we're going to cut the ribbon, and we're going to
We're on all week long, so the ribbon cutting.
ribbon
it.
cutting tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
That's
and then
going to
we'll
be
Tuesday.
Tuesday of this
Tuesday
week.
is
So if you're
Tuesday,
watching
right.
Wednesday or Thursday, you missed that.
Right.
But they'll be able to come around and have a look.
give tours, and we'll give tours all week. If anybody that comes in, we have an office center. If anybody wants to see the facility, and we'd like to invite the community, not only those who are aspiring to come to the community college, but come in and see the college.
Just as a neighbor.
Just as a neighbor, so we can say hello, and sometimes we get our best ideas from people who come in and say, did you ever think about this course? Did you ever think about this program? I'm really interested in it. And that's how things, sometimes very positive developments occur.
All right, let me pick up on that in terms of another question we asked earlier. And from your experiences with the other campus, is it likely that the fact that you're there may bring other commercial entities into the mall itself? Have the branch campuses attracted other entities around them?
What has frequently happened is businesses will expand, or people will look at it and think, for example, I'll give you when we expanded to the downtown in Nanticoke, Health Sciences Center and Culinary Institute, beautiful facilities. Some businesses sprung up because they understood that there's an opportunity to serve our students. So when you put hundreds of people on the street, coming and going, people need to eat, people like to shop. Sure. So there's a lot of really economic, as referred to earlier, a lot of economic development can take place
Yeah,
as
who
well.
knows what the snowball effect will be on something? You have to wait and see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, and hopefully it'll be positive. I see this, if I may speak editorial, as a very, very positive move.
Oh, me too.
Thank you.
And I
Absolutely.
think of that in terms of not just the marketplace, mall marketplace, but rather the entire area, right down to the county.
Plus,
when
with
it comes.
colleges, competition, like anything else, is good. It keeps everybody honest and it keeps prices down. Bottom
You
line.
always see the McDonald's and the Burger Kings real close
right next to each other.
So
Exactly right.
Two aspects to that. You're
Exactly.
absolutely right. Competition is good, it's healthy, and collaboration is also good. So what we want to do is, just as I mentioned with Marywood University, when we signed that dual admissions agreement last year, we wanted to collaborate with the other colleges and universities. There's great colleges and universities in Scranton and Lackawanna County. We see this as a partnership that can work very well
Sure.
educationally to serve the citizens.
So even as you open, you see growth potential.
Yes, I see, our plan is that this center will grow every semester, grow every year.
Well, we certainly wish you well, and I really appreciate your coming on to give our audience sort of a look, in at least from a conversational point of view, at this exciting new enterprise coming right to our backyard here in the city of Scranton. Certainly have done well in Luzerne County and Northumberland. So I think the story will probably be about the same here. So,
We hope
Tom
so.
Leary, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
joining
Dave.
us. We
I
appreciate
Tom.
it. Thank you
Okay.
so
Good luck,
much.
Tom.
Rusty, thank you, sir.
Rusty, thank you for
See you next week,
co-hosting
Dave.
as always.
Mark.
Mark McGlory for keeping us
Thank
in
you, Mark.
focus as always. I'm David DeCosmo for ECTV Live. Until we see you again next week, here's hoping all your news is good.